участие на вебинаре. Позвольте, как обычно, предоставить буквально еще пару минут остальным участникам для того, чтобы они присоединились. И пока мы их ждем, позвольте мне пройтись по основным таким техническим вопросам, да, которые касаются сегодняшнего вебинара. В первую очередь, пожалуйста, напишите, либо скажите, хорошо ли меня видно, хорошо ли слышно, видно ли вам экран с презентацией. Если во время презентации у вас будут какие-то технические проблемы, пожалуйста, напишите в чате сообщение, чтобы мы смогли оперативно вам помочь. Также хотелось бы отметить, что у нас сегодня вебинар записывается с целью того, чтобы предоставить возможность отсутствующим участникам сегодня, возможность ознакомиться с вебинаром, а также со всеми материалами. В связи с этим, если вы не хотите, чтобы ваше видео попадало на запись вебинара, просьба отключить камеры и слушать вебинар без картинки. Также большая просьба к вам, да, для того, чтобы провести более сфокусированную сессию, оставить вопросы ваши да, до конца сессии, то есть в конце вебинара нашего у нас будет отдельно отведенное время для того, чтобы ответить на все ваши вопросы, а также услышать ваши комментарии. Если у вас по ходу сессии будут возникать вопросы, вы можете, в принципе, оставить их в чате, то есть в виде сообщения, и мы обязательно к ним вернемся. Также в последнюю очередь хотелось бы упомянуть, что сегодняшний вебинар у нас будет проводиться на английском языке с синхронным переводом на русский. Поэтому, как и на всех схожих, да, наших вебинарах, основная содержательная часть, когда начнется, большая просьба в нижней панели выбрать функцию перевода и далее уже выбрать канал перевода с английского на русский. Очень рады приветствовать. Вижу, участники, вы пишете, да, откуда вы. Очень рады видеть коллег с Туркменистана. Здравствуйте. Да, теперь давайте позвольте нам начать уже вебинар. И очень кратко давайте мы напомним, в рамках чего мы с вами сегодня встречаемся. То есть у нас вебинар проходит в рамках программы вебинаров Дарья Скаффолд. И Дарья Скаффолд, в частности, является частью большей инициативы Европейского Союза под названием «Дарья». «Дарья», в свою очередь, расшифровывается как диалог и действие для находчивой молодежи в Центральной Азии. И реализуется данная инициатива Европейским фондом образования в тесном сотрудничестве с государственными органами в 5 республиках Центральной Азии, которые ответственны за образование и развитие профессиональных навыков. В частности, наша команда Дарья Скаффолд, мы помогаем вам, педагогам, да, более эффективно планировать ваши занятия посредством инструмента Scaffold. И мы очень рады, что на протяжении уже не первого года Scaffold имплементируется очень большим количеством педагогов, и данное количество растет, чему мы очень рады. И помимо организации очных, а также онлайн-мероприятий, одной из наших также основных целей является создание живого профессионального сообщества Дарья Скаффолд в регионе. Как вы знаете, что у нас инструмент очень практический, соответственно, у нас обучение идет посредством, да, взаимодействия, вы обучаетесь друг у друга, соответственно, здесь уже ключевым фактором, да, использования инструмента является повсеместная имплементация по всему региону. И разный опыт очень важен. Соответственно, для того, чтобы вы могли делиться опытом имплементации, вопросами, проблемами, у нас существуют 2 платформы. В первую очередь это телеграм-группа Дарья Скаффолд, где сейчас у нас свыше 1000 педагогов со всего региона Центральной Азии. Если у вас не было возможности еще присоединиться к данному сообществу, пожалуйста, присоединитесь, потому что это очень полезный инструмент. И вторая платформа – это у нас мини-сайт Дарья Скаффолд, где помимо основных, да, новостей о развитии инструмента мы также размещаем записи вебинаров, такого, как, допустим, сегодня, а также размещаем материалы по всем вебинарам и также размещаем дополнительные инструменты, которые помогают вам еще более эффективно и проще работать с инструментом SCAF. Сейчас в чате для вашего удобства размещены ссылки на данные ресурсы. Пожалуйста, большая просьба к вам воспользоваться ими в ваше удобное время. Двигаясь дальше, хотелось бы напомнить то, что сегодня мы с вами встречаемся в рамках серии международных вебинаров Дарья Scaffold. Данная серия у нас состоит из 7 вебинаров, которые у нас начались уже в ноябре прошлого года, и мы с вами сейчас уже на 6-й сессии, то есть у нас буквально вот сегодняшняя сессия и последняя осталась. Формат у нас вебинара сегодня точно такой же, как и предыдущий, то есть у нас с вами 90 минут, и где мы сегодня с вами поговорим о поддержке учащихся формированию установок на развитие, в частности, о мышлении роста. Теперь позвольте безотлагательно передать слово нашему сегодняшнему фасилитатору Оксане Пасечник. Напоминаю, уважаемые участники, что сейчас начнется основная часть на английском языке. Большая просьба сейчас включить каналы перевода с английского на русский. Спасибо всем большое. Оксана, over to you.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Oksana Pasechnik, and I'm really happy to be here, and I'm happy that you have joined this webinar, and we are going to spend the next hour and a half together. I am, if we can move to the next slide, please. I am a computer science teacher from Lviv. But usually I wear a lot of different hats in most of the projects that I do. I work a lot with teachers on curriculum design, on assessment, formative assessment, on designing different learning experiences for our students, experiences that work and that make a difference for their future. Today, I would like to invite you to look at growth mindset as something we should encourage in our learners, but also as a notion that we can design, we can actually prepare our lessons in a way that they support this mindset. And when I say lessons, it's not only the school lessons. It's actually any learning experience that can be designed for any range of ages. I need to mention that my presentation is pretty packed with information. So if that is convenient for you, you can follow the handout with more information. And I think it's going to appear in the chat in the next moments. As we move on to the next slide, I would like to ask you to reflect and think about what drives your learning right now. Why actually you decided to spend this time on this webinar? Are you open to changing your teaching methods? Or maybe you are looking for something that will finally click with your students and will be that solution you have been looking for a long time. Please take a moment to identify what motivation drives you right now, what resonates with you from the statements that are on the screen. You can use chat to just write down a number if that is convenient, or maybe write a couple of more words if you feel like it. But please know that there is no right or wrong answer. Every way is a right way, because I'm really happy that we can share this platform to communicate and share some of the experiences. Maybe you like to experiment, and this is a new way to experiment with your teaching. Maybe you are in search for something. Maybe you are really looking for some new tools, some new methods, some new ideas. Maybe you are looking forward to cooperating with your partners, with your co-teachers, Maybe there can be any other motivation, and I thank you very much for sharing your numbers in the chat. And yes, it was really difficult to choose just one answer, because we need to understand that really it is very difficult to find only one type of motivation for everyone. And this is something we need to carry on with us for this webinar. Because when we move to the next slide, you can see that these statements actually belong to different, let's say, categories of motivation. One category is about reflection. It's about thinking what you know about your own teaching, how you feel about your own teaching. Some other statements are about exploration, exploring what there is more to the teaching than you already know and use. Some of the statements are about mastery. You want to become really expert in what you're doing, and this is your motivation. Some other statements belong to impact. You want to make a difference. You want to make sure that your work is really matters, and it really changes the lives of your students, of your learners. And actually, we must understand that each of these types of motivation drives people in different ways. And this actually connects to the concept of mindset that we are going to explore a lot during today's session. On the next slide, I would like to take you a little bit into the past. Please think about the first time that you have used Zoom for your teaching, or for your learning, for that matter. I presume that there was a lot of uncertainty when you started using those digital tools for your teaching, because I'm pretty sure there is no teacher currently who doesn't remember teaching without digital tools. We all grew up in a little bit different setting, and we were taught to teach in a different setting. But still now we are here. We are using these tools, we are learning, we are communicating. And I think when we think about the emotions we had at the very beginning of this route, there was a lot of awkwardness. There was a lot of silence. There was a lot of moments when we thought it's never going to work. I don't know how to do this. My students don't know how to do this. But actually, somehow we get to the point when we have this international gathering, and we actually try to learn from it. We have motivation to be here, as we mentioned on the previous slide. So when we think about how we got here, on the next slide, we can think about what helped us to be where we are now. Was it talent, or rather perseverance? Did you discover your hidden talent of teaching in online or learning in online? Or you just improved by trying, adjusting, sometimes failing in some ways. But in this way, it was a way to learn and improve. The discipline, thank you very much. It's a very important thing. And I think a lot of today's learners need guidance on how to do that in their everyday learning. For most of us, the honest answer would be perseverance. It will be practice, it will be reflection, adaptation, and really sticking to what you have to do. Thank you very much for your answers in every given moment. It is a very useful point for the growth mindset, because we are realizing that it is not just about doing something we have been doing all the way before and expecting the new result. It is when we understand that it is actually possible to change, it's possible to grow, it's possible to gain some new capabilities. We become better when we make some effort, but also when we have support in what we are trying to learn, when we have some time, when we have some time to adjust, when we have some time to practice, when we have some time to make some mistakes, and learn from these small mistakes. And this is what we are going to talk about today. Not just about the notion of growth mindset, but also how can we support our students in adopting this mindset, in practicing it, in making sure that this is the way to grow for themselves in any way they choose to grow. On the next slide, we are coming to the concept and to the definition itself. A growth mindset assumes that abilities can be developed through study and practice, while a fixed mindset assumes that ability is something innate and unchangeable. It was Carol Dweck's idea about reframing failures as opportunities to learn and grow. And those failures or errors or mistakes is what actually makes a difference. It is not just something bad that happens during our learning. This is actually learning itself. And I would also like to add another aspect to this conversation. Many educators think that mindset comes from motivation. It's another difficult word for teaching and learning because it is really subtle, as we have tried to discover a couple of slides earlier. But also, we need to understand that motivation alone doesn't solve all the problems. Because even if learners just believe in themselves more, it doesn't help them to develop that growth mindset and achieve success. In reality, this mindset is formed by those learning conditions that we create with our teaching. This is where learning design comes into the picture. What kind of tasks do we propose our learners to do? What kind of feedback they hear from us? What we reward in our everyday lessons? What we notice? What we praise? What happens when there is a struggle? How do we deal with it? How do we deal with our own sometimes mistakes that we do during our everyday life? That's when a teacher's job becomes specifically visible, because it's very difficult to go deep into each student's motivation by themselves. But rather, we need to think about what we as teachers can do to support that growth mindset that is actually needed to go on in the world. That's the environment we create as a learning institution. On the next slide, there is the last mentioning of the motivation, because actually I believe that most of teachers have seen all of these types of motivation in our profession. We can think about rewards and punishments, the grades, the so-called industrial model of administration, when there is an external control and we just say what is right, what is wrong, and we reward what is right, and we punish what is wrong. And this is how I would assume many of us were learning back then when we were at school. Now we move to the second way of motivation, when there is a lot of internal stuff going on, when we value autonomy, when we value mastery, when we value purpose to what we are doing. It's not just about rewards and punishments. It aligns better with the current modern education system, when we support learners in all their variety of endeavors, when we try to think about a creative work that will be a path for quite a lot of our students today. But actually, I think now, especially with artificial intelligence going the way it does, we move to further think about motivation as something even more instinctive. The question becomes, how can I be useful? How can I make an impact? How can I make a contribution to something meaningful by what I'm doing? It's not just about doing something right. It's doing something good in the global picture. This is kind of motivation we need for the world of innovation. This is kind of motivation we need in the world where is so little certainty anymore. We know that the world is going through a lot of changes on different levels, on technological level, on societal level, and we need our students to be prepared for that. It's not going to happen if they are getting rewards and punishments. It's not going to happen if they are concentrated only on themselves. They should think about something more with their learning and something that they can contribute with all their efforts. So actually, each kind of these motivations requires different settings in our learning design. Something that worked before is not going to work in this new world. So that's when growth mindset becomes especially important and valuable. On the next slide, we try to highlight that the question that drives each of us in every moment of our learning can be focused on different types of motivation, whether we would like to get a reward, whether we would like to take on a new challenge, or we would like to grow and make sense of everything that's going on around us. And actually, if we think about motivation as an engine, the thinking, the disposition, the mindset is like a direction in which this engine drives us in each of the moments of our learning. It doesn't mean that the previous forms of motivations disappear or they should not be working. Of course, there still is going to be some kind of reward and punishment going on. There's going to be a lot of talk about purpose, about talent, about mastery, about autonomy. It's not canceling all those things. But we really need to think about in which direction we would like our learners to move, regardless of any subject area, regardless of any textbook we are following. It's about the future we are preparing them to. And on the next slide, there is, I think, the pretty familiar distribution of characteristics of parameters for fixed mindset and growth mindset. I assume that a lot of you have seen something similar before, but even if not, we can easily get the idea that is behind this table. Because fixed mindset is when we believe so much in our own talent, in our talent we were born with, that we are really afraid of making any mistakes, because it means that our talent is not enough. It means that we are not smart enough. It means that we look stupid. It means that it is our problem, and we were born with this problem, and there is nothing we can do about it. But instead, when we think about growth mindset, we understand that it is possible to change our abilities. It is possible to develop ourselves. It is possible to actually see every effort we make as something good. It doesn't delete all the effort from our life. Vice versa. We learn to like it. We learn to basically enjoy the difficulty, because this is when we feel we are developing, when we are growing. I often compare it to going to the gym. When we are going to the gym, we want to get tired. We want to feel this feeling of that we have done something. Because if you didn't get any sweat during your workout, quite probably it wasn't very effective. And the same happens with our brain. When we believe that it's okay that we are tired, it's okay that we have come across some difficulty during our learning, it makes this learning effective. And I think that in a lot of cases, our words and our feedback as educators can make a good contribution into growing this growth mindset in our students. On the next slide, we are going to see a picture generated by artificial intelligence. I'm fully disclosing the internal kitchen here. But I have asked it to prepare some illustrations to some typical situations that might happen in any classroom. Of course, my artificial intelligence knows that I am a computer science teacher. Therefore, all the images are about computer science, but I definitely know that it can be applied to any subject area. When a student says that it was easy to do something, we say, oh, that's very good. Probably it's because you have talent for it. And it is such a natural feedback for us to praise the talents of our students. But what does it really say to the student? It actually encourages that fixed mindset. It actually encourages them to believe that it is important that everything was easy. And it's really not the case with learning. When our student is stuck and he or she wants to go deeper into some issue they have encountered, but we are just moving on. We don't think that explanation is really necessary at this point. We don't have a lot of time. We have 30 other students in the classroom. We are not going deep into the issues of that one particular student because, well, he got the right answer and this is what's important. When a student is stuck and we just say, well, just try it again. Just do it all over again. Start from the beginning and everything is going to be fine without actually providing any structure, any strategy of how to move on. It is very easy to move on for us as adults who have learned a lot of stuff during our life. And we know those strategies of how to get to the next point, to the next level. But for students, it's not so easy. They really do not know how to try it again. And they are going to do it all over again in the same way and get the same mistake, and they are stuck in that cycle. Therefore, it's very important to move to some other ways of doing things in our classroom. On the next slide, you can see that the same situation basically can be played out a little bit different. If a student says that it was really easy for them to do something, we can actually encourage some other ways to explore this topic. We can really value the way it was done, not just the result that was achieved. When we think about the process, not just the product of our learning. When the problem is difficult and student is stuck, we can just suggest some ideas on how to approach this problem. Maybe they need only a small guidance. Maybe they need only a small hint, but it helps them to move out of that loop, move out of that cycle, and actually go onto a spiral of learning instead of that loop. When we think about all the challenges that happened during the learning, when we actually collect the mistakes that happened during the lesson, and I can see the issue with translation. I know that is difficult to follow if there is no translation, so I'll just, can we make sure that it's all right? I will try to continue talking and just to try to make sure that, yeah, okay, thank you. Maybe it was some local issue. All right, I'm moving on. Thank you. So the focus shifts from just fixing what's happening to rather thinking about the process, understanding how everything's working, and guiding our students to achieve some better results. It may be a really small shift in our language, but it will be a huge shift in the learning. It doesn't remove challenges. It helps students to stay engaged with those challenges and find some ways to solve them. On the next slide, you will see the quote you are probably familiar with, the notion, the concept of the zone of proximal development that actually is the focus of the growth mindset disposition. Because when we think about learning and when it happens, where it's happening, it is happening just outside of our zone of comfort. And outside of the zone of comfort, we find the zone of fear. We find the zone in which we are really not comfortable, the zone in which we do not know anymore. We are not sure anymore. It is very unclear. It's very murky. It's very uneasy. But this is something we need to overcome to actually learn something new, to develop some new skill, to develop some new knowledge. It shouldn't be too far away. It really should be something that teacher guides our students to reach. The second idea is that learning happens when students are challenged just at the right level. And it's really difficult to find that level, honestly, especially when we have a classroom full of 30 students. Each of them are on different levels, and still we need to move on as a class. But anyways, we doing this, we understand that there is no one magical solution to this situation, but actually supporting growth mindset allows every learner to move in their own path, to move in their own pace on this direction. So growth really requires this struggle and productive challenge. Probably you have heard about this term before as well. So when we are thinking about this image, about those circles that describe different zones of growth, and we think about that in terms of our classes, in terms of our learning experiences, would you please think about one of your recent assignments, one of your recent tasks? How do you think? Where was it? Or was it a zone of comfort with low risk so that everyone can get a good answer and feel good about themselves? And sometimes this is what we need. But maybe it was pushing our learners to the zone of growth, to the zone of learning, where they find those challenges and actually learn to overcome them. Where do our tasks usually place our learners? In which zone are they? Sometimes we plan our activities as too easy, but sometimes they can feel too overwhelming. And it's very important to find that middle ground and try to think about how to support learners in moving through the zone of fear when we are trying to learn something new. It's really not an easy task, but I hope that with some pieces of advice after today's webinar, you will be more comfortable doing this. Because really, we as teachers are also in the same loop, in the same zone. We also sometimes fear moving away from our comfort zone. We are sometimes relying on the methods that worked before, and we are not trying to experiment with something new. And there are actually some very specific strategies. For example, on the next slide, there is a very interesting concept of the learning pit. It was designed by James Nottingham, and it's a great visual for our students. It's a visualization that shows students on different stages of dealing with a new concept, on different stages of actually learning. And it highlights the idea that you cannot learn without getting deep into the pit. Because if you think that you know everything, this is all very easy, it means that you are staying on the wrong side of learning. You're staying on the same place and you are not moving forward. But as soon as you start questioning yourself, as soon as you start thinking, oh, it's really not something what I thought about it, it's actually something new for me. In most of cases, you're going to get stuck with this new notion. If it's really new for you, if it's really something you need to discover, you need to explore, this is the place where you find the most confusion and need the most support. When you realize, okay, to deal with this, I really need to make an effort. I need to work hard to get to the point of things. And only when you do this effort, when you apply a lot of energy, you get that eureka moment when, oh, now I understand this. And it's very important to highlight the author's idea that the new ground is higher than the one the student started on. And this is the only way to get to that higher ground. We shouldn't imagine that it's possible to just, jump over and not deal with any challenges, with any problems, with any errors, with any mistakes, with any things that are frustrating. And according to the author, and there is the whole website devoted to this concept of learning pit, and I encourage you to explore it after the webinar. You can find a lot of different visualizations for your classroom, for your learning setting. And by the way, here are the younger students, but there are images with adults doing the same thing. So this concept applies to different levels of learning. So don't be afraid to use it as an analogy, because it really works even in professional settings. So why it's important to share this image or similar image with your students? On the next slide, there is a short explanation for that. First of all, we need to reassure students that struggles are normal. It's all right if we find some difficulties. We also need to encourage them to challenge, to go through a process of learning intentionally, without avoiding any difficulties and challenges. And also to encourage them to step outside of their comfort zone and choose sometimes harder and more meaningful learning experience. It's not very easy to convince modern students to take on a new challenge. I'm sure that this is something that happens not only in my classroom. when students just try to get on with some tasks, do some assignment, receive their grade, and be fine with it. But honestly, the true learning happens when there is that extra effort. And I know from my experience that visualizations like this really help students to feel that this struggle is normal, to normalize a struggle in the classroom. Another way that I use visualizations and some visual help with my students is on the next slide, where you can find the strategies from the project that was aimed to teach programming with Scratch. Maybe you have been familiar with this tool for teaching programming for young students, because this was honestly a breakthrough in learning. Maybe you have heard about the Lego Mindstorm sets, and they were created with the idea that learning happens when kids are creating something, when they are making something, and that movement of makers, of creators, of constructionism is actually coming from the same scientific laboratory. So they have proposed some suggestions for students who got stuck and they don't know how to find a new solution. They have tried everything they knew, and they don't know how to move forward. I actually use these cards in my classroom because I ask them to use at least 3 strategies before they ask me. They have these cards visually on their desks, and when they feel that they are stuck, they choose just randomly one of the cards, try this suggestion, and only after they have tried 3 different ideas, they can ask a teacher. Because honestly, of course, teacher knows the answer. Of course, teacher will provide the answer, but it's not the point. The point is to find the answer by themselves, because I am not going to be available for their future life with them. They need to learn to do it by themselves. And even though these ideas were created for teaching programming, honestly, they fit any subject area. Change some one minor thing at a time. Talk through the assignment and try to explain the assignment to somebody else. Actually, when we are trying to verbalize some things, we tend to find the issue with our own understanding. And it really helps yourself. And by the way, you can help your peer by explaining the assignment to them. Reframe the problem as an opportunity. Just use different words when you're explaining that you are stuck. Just try to find some analogy. Draw a diagram, draw a picture, create a table, explain this table. Go and look what others are doing. Answer somebody else's question. Make a suggestion to someone. Break the task down into different parts and different stages. All these are strategies that honestly work just fine with younger students and with adult learners, because even experienced learners sometimes don't know how to go outside of that learning loop that I have been describing earlier. So these strategies, I believe, are really nice because they are very specific, and they can be applied in different situations. It also highlights the idea that learners, to develop growth mindset, they don't need only encouragement. They don't need only the praise. They need specific tools and strategies how to deal with difficulties that they encounter. It's not just about, oh, you're such a nice person, you are so talented, good luck, just persevere and everything will be good. It's not working. We need to provide them with tools. And I'm trying to share the tools that are working in my experience. The next slide, there is another set of tools. These are called habits of mind. And there are 16 of them. I know you will not be able to read all of them, but again, there is a website, you can explore more. I will just share how I use these cards and use these habits. There are 16 of these habits, and there are 35 weeks of teaching and learning in a school year here where I teach. So I choose those cards and devote 2 weeks for each of those cards during my school year. This way I go over all of these habits of mind during the school year with each of my grades. And we try to focus on one habit during those 2 weeks. We try to practice these habits. We try to answer questions about those habits. And this merges very nicely just into the lesson. We don't need extra lessons to do this. We don't need extra lessons in timetable. We just need to devote some time during our regular lesson to highlight how we can persevere in certain things. It's about being creative. It's about listening to others. It's about learning from mistakes. It's about importance of perseverance. It's about precision. It's about putting right questions, about explaining yourself clearly, about taking responsible risk, thinking about the whole system, not just about the parts of the system, and remaining open to any new challenges, any new information that becomes available. It's really not so much about some specific things that we learn. It's about our disposition to those things. It's really about that concept of the competence, that it's about values, about attitudes, about things that really shape our mindset as a whole, not just about skills and, of course, knowledge. These habits actually shape how our learners approach those complexities, uncertainties, and collaboration opportunities that arise during our lessons. I think it's important to notice that while practicing those habits of mind and habits of mind we practice, it's important to highlight that they can be applied again on different levels. On the next slide, you can see the screenshot from the website where these habits are put into context for teachers, for students, for leaders, for parents, and for employers. And there are different pieces of advice how these different categories of users can actually practice those habits of mind. It means that it's really applicable on different levels. Of course, there are different specificities how to use them for different settings, but still the advice is pretty general. To pick one habit and focus on it during a certain period of time. It really works nicely when a whole school or whole educational institution has this calendar and moves along these different habits of mind as a whole team. It really makes a huge difference. It also highlights the idea that it's not possible to focus on everything at the same time. You need to choose something and really develop it. When this habit is highlighted, you start noticing it in different moments, in different settings, on different subjects, in different situations. This is when students start to transfer what they have learned in one situation into the other situation. And again, it's important to support them in this transfer. This is probably the most difficult part of the learning. It's also nice to keep a journal to mark each time you have used this habit. This way you can track all those habits and see visually how you're growing with all of that. And sharing your experience with others. Actually, it's always nice to have a discussion, to explain something you have learned. So all these pretty basic ideas, but they contribute to this whole culture of growth mindset that can be cultivated on a specific lesson or in educational institution overall. I should also say that there are some myths about growth mindset, and quite often we just hear those myths and misconceptions about growth mindset. I would like to debunk some of these myths on the next couple of slides. The first myth is about just praising effort. If you say, well, it was a good job, this actually doesn't say anything to our student. There is no focus on the strategy without support of the strategies that were employed, about highlighting, as I said on the previous slide, that we need to notice when we are applying this or that strategy. So instead, we should rather say that it's important to think about how you got to this successful moment. Think about which strategy worked best. What will you change next time? Or maybe you wouldn't. And this kind of questions turn effort into something useful and something that needs to be examined, that needs to be explored by a student themselves. And this way, the effort becomes not just the final goal, but something that we grow in the process of learning. On the next slide, another common phrase, just try harder, just keep going and you'll succeed. This way, of course, students don't hear anything specific. They don't get any encouragement. They don't get any direction. And they don't encourage change in the approach. It means that continue doing what you have been doing before. Of course, we have seen that it's not going to work. We can suggest another strategy. We can suggest another thing to get unstuck. We can just ask a student to fantasize what can be done differently. Pretty often I ask my students, how do you think I could support you better? And sometimes their answers also help me understanding how to do this in the best way, because all our students are so different and may require quite different things. We need to highlight to them that even though persistence matters, it's not just persistence by itself. It's adaptive persistence that matters even more. We need to be able to change our ways, not just to continue doing what we have been doing. Myth number three, sorry, it's myth about the misconception that mistakes are always good. If we just say that, you know what, every mistake is a very good thing. It's very nice that you're making all the mistakes. Of course, our final goal is not to praise just the mistake. We need to praise the reflection over this mistake. We need to praise the lessons that we gained from this mistake. Therefore, without this reflection, we are risking just getting our students to the point when they say, oh, it's very nice, I made a mistake, let's move on. And that mistakes would be their achievements. And it's actually not our point. There is always a next step to the mistakes. And with my students, I often share this huge list of sheet of paper where I encourage them to write down their favorite mistake from the lesson. And when they are putting the favorite mistakes from the lesson, we draw arrows and the favorite way to solve this mistake, to resolve the issue. So on the one hand, there is a collection of all the things that go wrong with assignments, but at the same time, there is also a list of actions we can do when we find those issues. So really, it's about doing something with the fact that there were some mistakes or some things that needed improvement in our learning. Myth number 4 would be about motivation. As I said before, it's not just about motivation, because it's about the settings in which learning is happening. This is something that can be designed. This is something that is not just responsibility of student and their own internal psychological state, but rather the settings which are created rather systemically. We design those settings as teachers, and this is the whole supportive system that gets students to the point when they develop that growth mindset. And this is the questions that we need to ask ourselves. It's not just the question, how should our students change to adopt growth mindset? It's about what can I do in my lessons to support growth mindset in my students. So again, it's a shared responsibility, and it's not something internal to the student. At the same time, we need to be aware that there is quite a substantial amount of work that needs to be done by a student to develop that growth mindset. We cannot presume that it's only our responsibility and only our actions that actually make this difference. We are creating the environment, we are creating the opportunities, we are supporting, but the actual action must happen on the side of the student. And we also must be aware of that and not blame ourselves if the results are not as prominent as we want them to be. And the last myth I would like to debunk would be about the fact that it's not possible to develop growth mindset in the same way for every student. It's utopian to think that all the learners are going to the same result and in the same way, because the ways can be different, the results can be different. The progress is very individual, and the path to this progress is also individual as well. And the main thing here would be to value the process of learning rather than the unified result of it. We create the opportunity for each of our students to grow in their own way. And this sometimes can be really difficult for teachers. And I know it's not so easy for myself to accept that I'm not going to shape the exact path for each student. They still are going to do it in their own way, in their own time, in their own pace. And it's not so easy to let it go in a way, but still it's important to really know the things you can do and the things you cannot do, and be realistic about this as well. And what helps would be the next slide, the feedback that we are providing our students. I'm pretty sure that traditional feedback is very familiar to what we have been receiving, and probably in many times what we are providing to our students, just because of lack of time, just because there is too many of them, too many assignments we need to grade. Sometimes I do it as well. I just put a grade without any comments because I don't have time to do this. But if we really think about that growth mindset, if we really put this as an aim for our own teaching, it would be important to provide that growth feedback, as they say, about the approaches, about the ways how you got this answer, about the difficulties you have encountered, about the multiple ways of solving some problem, math problem or physics or chemistry or whatever, to analyze and reflect on what worked and what didn't work, what can be improved, how can we take this assignment, this result you have achieved, to a new level. How can teachers support you in doing this? So this feedback is really about empowering students to do more, to not just achieve a result that is going to be graded and put in the grade book, but rather the result would be the growth of the student who is doing this or that task. And actually, all of that becomes critically important in the current age of AI. Because on the next slide, there is a little discussion about what is the place of AI in today's learning. I'm sure that it's not only my problem. I know that this problem is very active for a lot of educators all over the world. When AI can do the task in a really quick way. Any assignment we are giving our students can be done by AI without any effort from the student's side. And if our students don't have that growth mindset, they are actually going to just use AI and produce the best result they could ever imagine. Honestly, it's not possible to distinguish human work from the work of AI. Even though there are some systems that claim that they can identify AI work, it's not actually possible from the technological point of view. So if our students are not equipped with this disposition to improve themselves, to strive to a better thinking, to their own growth, and they just want to get the best result they can, honestly, they are going to face a lot of problems with artificial intelligence. But if we really make this effort as educators, as I said previously, this extended feedback takes time and effort. It's not very easy for us as teachers to do this. But I totally believe that without this, we are failing our students in AI-filled world. If our students don't believe in the importance of learning, in the importance of growth, in the importance of making the effort, in getting through all these challenges and difficulties, and not just delegating those challenges and difficulties to some computer system, they might not be prepared to the world in which they are going to live. Because on the next slide, we can see the difference between fixed and growth mindset within the age of artificial intelligence. If we need to just find answers, we will find those answers with technological systems. They will replace our thinking, and this is because we don't want to make any mistakes. We rely on artificial intelligence to do all the difficult work, and all the dirty work with challenges, with mistakes, with everything that's happening outside our comfort zone. We just stay in our own bubble and just expect some magic to happen and provide us with answers. But if we really think that it's interesting, that it's worth to invest our effort, if we really think that it's valuable to learn and grow, in this way, artificial intelligence can really help us to explore ideas, to expand our thinking, to guide us to improvement, not just get the right answer, but to help us get to the better answer. And this way, artificial intelligence can be a really good tool, not to be feared of, but rather to use this tool to enhance our learning. And another idea I wanted to suggest to you on the next slide, it is called Gemini Storybook tool, because this is a tool based on Google's Gemini engine, and it helps us create small storybooks. And we can aim them on different ages. You can see 3 examples I have asked to create for primary school students, for high school students, and for teachers. It can be also used for adult education. These are very small books, up to 10 pages. On one side there is a picture, on the other side there is a small text, and they create a story. For example, a story about young children who are trying to create a new mechanism and play with it. There is a story about high school students who are trying to create a new robot and it's not working, and they are trying to debug the whole process. There is a story about a teacher who is stuck with new challenges that arise in her classroom. Challenges with motivation, challenges with behavior, challenges with how to build learning which caters to different needs of her students. And in all these situations, we need that growth mindset. We need to be open-minded. We need to be ready to invest our own effort into growing. So if you need another idea how to put this concept of growth mindset for your students, for your learners, basically you can use this Gemini Storybook tool and create a book that is really special for you, for your own needs, for your own students, for your own context. And this way, I encourage you to actually not be afraid of AI in the context of growth mindset, but rather use AI to support this growth mindset. And here we're coming on the next slide to the very important idea that we cannot teach mindset, but we can design it. We can design developing this mindset basically with the Scaffold tool. I believe this is a very powerful tool to support teachers in creating certain learning experiences, in designing how these dispositions are going to be formed during our lessons, during the projects, during the laboratories, during the outside of the classroom experiences that we are trying to do. But anyway, we are trying to not just deliver some content to our students, but create a situation in which they are learning. And I believe that the whole idea of growth mindset is something that cannot be just taught as a set of rules or a set of information. You just have to memorize, and from this point on, you will have this growth mindset. It is rather about the design through experience, the experience that guides our students to value all those things that we have been discussing for the last hour. And scaffold, as we can see on the next slide, really provides us with very specific steps, very specific elements we are designing, we are providing answers to when we are trying to create that learning. That learning that is helpful for our students, that is active, that is encouraging their growth in many ways possible. We need to think about structuring this experience for our students, but also structuring the way we design this experience for us as teachers, because we also need support in this process. And I totally believe that Scaffold is one of the best tools to actually support us in doing this. Because on the next slide, we can see 3 principles that can support us in using Scaffold for growth mindset. It really encourages us to think about real experiences. It's one of the key principles that is used in Scaffold. It really encourages us to incorporate reflection as part of the learning experience. And it really encourages us to put learners to the center of this whole design process. And those 3 principles actually can help us design experiences or redesign them. Because honestly, I think that in many cases, teachers already have some idea how to approach this or that topic, but quite often need support in changing this whole process a little bit, at least, to really have that impact that we are aiming for. On the next slide, you can see the traditional task that is, I believe, very typical for a lot of classes, to create a presentation or report about something, about internet safety, about historic monuments, or anything else. And usually what it means for students is you need to prepare this specific product, a presentation or report or something else, and that would be the aim of the whole learning. So the aim for the student would be to create a specific product. And we have seen with the previous information, with previous slides, it's not about growth mindset. It's really about fixing our students onto a product that is good, that is finished, that is worth some reward. But when we think about how to transform this task, on the next slide, I would like to propose the whole cycle of education, which is oriented to growth. When we start with a challenge, not with a task, not with the product we need to create, but the challenge we need to solve. And with this challenge, we are understanding that quite often the first attempt to solve this challenge is not going to be successful. Basically, we need to think about that learning pit we have been talking before, and to incorporate this concept into our design. We need to allow our students to feel this failure, to feel this mistake, to feel this uneasiness, to step out of the comfort zone of knowing how to do the challenge from the very beginning. After that, we provide feedback, and that feedback can be very different from peers, from the teacher. Maybe it will be a self-assessment in a way. And after that, after receiving this feedback, after reflecting on this feedback, student will make a better product, provide a better solution. Again, the product will also be happening in this cycle, but it's not going to be the final goal, because the final goal was the whole cycle itself. It was about facing the challenge. It was about facing the failure. It was about receiving feedback and about reflecting on this feedback, and about having the motivation, having the strength to go on and improve after the iteration. So this whole cycle becomes the goal instead of the product. And when we look onto the next slide and thinking how we can transform this task, we can, for example, propose a challenge that you don't need to create a report for a teacher. Please support your younger brother or sister when they start using internet, or when they start exploring ancient monuments. What should they know about those about that topic, no matter what the topic is? And after the first attempt to solve this problem, to solve this challenge, we can get a moment of reflection and feedback from the peers, from the students themselves, when they try to support one another in making sure that their product is getting better. In this way, honestly, the result that can be graded or assessed can be the same. It can also be a report, it can also be a presentation, something that is easily gradable and is not going to mix all your assessment system. But the process, how we are getting to this product, is getting transformed. And this is how we approach designing for growth mindset with a scaffold set of cards. Approaching the next slide, we can summarize this process by transferring from the mindset that I need to get this finished, I need to get this done, I need to produce 5 pages, I need to produce 10 slides, and this is what I'm graded for. We are getting to the point to where we can say, I can improve what I have been trying to propose earlier. They know that they have drafts to build on. They know that they have some audience they can refer to. The presentation itself, the product itself, is not going anywhere. But it is not just the final destination of our thinking. It just supports the structure of the thinking we are growing in ourselves. It's about making this whole process visible, not just the product, but the process. And again, we are getting, repeatedly to the same ideas, but from the different points of view. Maybe the last example would be on the next slide, on which you might find something familiar. When we have a really good plan, we have planned a really good exercise or lesson for our students. We had a step-by-step guidance. We have some examples of previous work. We have clear criteria, and everything is going just fine. But if students actually view going through this plan, going through this guidance as a means of achieving success, this is when the problem becomes visible. students can go through this instruction, but it's more about compliance than really learning. And it is another risk when we sometimes overdo this kind of support, when we don't provide the space to actually experiment, to actually find the spot where students can grow, can actually feel the benefit of this learning pit. If we are trying to provide a ladder to the other side and make sure that they don't feel any inconvenience, they don't have any questions, they just move along the way that was paved for them. In this way, we can find that we are actually failing them rather than supporting. How can we make sure that it's not happening? On the next slide, there is a quote that I really love in my work, that a teacher is the one who makes himself or herself progressively unnecessary. And this should be our aim with designing learning experiences as well. On the one hand, we do have responsibility to design this experience, but design can be different. In one designs, we just create opportunities to follow instructions, and in some other designs, we create opportunities to learn and grow and develop those essential skills to learn even when this specific design will not be available in the future. Because in the future, there will be no us guiding our students to success. They need to know how to do it themselves. And this is what I believe Scaffold as well teaches us to do, to explore the methods that are different, that are not traditional, that sometimes feel quite scary and require all of us to go out of our comfort zone, but still that's what makes them so valuable. For example, in this case, on the next slide, we can see the changes we can make to this assignment to make it less guided, less about compliance and more about growth. For example, remove the full example, the ready example, and just provide some checklists rather than the specific example to see from the very beginning. Add some steps for reflection, add some steps for control within the assignment, so that those checkpoints can be controlled by students themselves, not just by a teacher. It would be nice if we could add some discussion between students and encourage them to compare, and not just the answers they received, but the approaches that they have taken. And also to think about how to incorporate the analysis of mistakes, analysis of challenges that happened during our learning. And I would really encourage you to think about the tasks you are providing your students. You are giving your students as assignments in classes or to do by themselves. How do they look like? Do they look like an assignment which encourages growth, or the assignment that encourages reaching the final point as quickly and efficiently as possible? Because sometimes this would mean different ideas for planning. And to use some of the methods from Scaffold tool, on the next slide, there is a collection of the teaching method cards. And I totally believe that those methods actually encourage you to develop growth mindset in your students, because most of them are not linear. Most of them actually encourage students to try different ways, to be active in their learning, and encourage teacher to somehow give up some of our authority and allows students to explore by themselves. Even though each of these methods obviously and definitely require planning from our side. It's not that teacher is not being present during the whole process, vice versa. It's very difficult to actually design such a lesson in which you give away some of your, well, say, power to students. So I'm not saying it's very easy, but I definitely say that it's very rewarding. And I should say it rewarding for a teacher as well, because when we see our learners as independent learners, when they actually are capable of facing all these challenges, I think it's the best reward we can get from our teaching. And finishing off with another set of cards from Scaffold, I can remind you that there is a specific competence in LifeCom framework called growth mindset. And using the whole idea of the Scaffold tool interconnected to other competences, to transversal competences, we can see the suggestions on the cards on how to encourage growth mindset on different activities. So even if we don't go away too much from the Scaffold tool itself, there is at least 4 suggestions you can use from the set of cards. Even if you don't go to the tools I have suggested during our webinar, but I strongly encourage you to explore all of them because they actually help you find ideas and specific solutions for your teaching situations. And really finishing off with the last slide of reflection, we are going back to the same idea we had at the beginning, where I encourage you to select one of the phrases that you keep for yourself after today's webinar. Maybe you will try something new. Maybe you believe now that mistakes help us learn. Maybe you will not be afraid of challenges, and you will see practice as something that helps your brain grow. But anyway, selecting just one of them, and would you please put one number in the chat just to support the conversation. Maybe you want to share your impression from what you have heard. Maybe you can share your plans with what you can do with all this information in your future work. Because growth mindset is not just encouraging some words. It's creating a classroom in which challenge is meaningful, struggle is normalized, and feedback opens your thinking. When learners are invited to improve rather than just finish. And I guess the word finish would be a good finishing line for our webinar. On this, I'm stopping my talk, and if there are any questions, you are welcome to ask them. Thank you.
Да, спасибо большое нашему эксперту. Да, уважаемые участники, спасибо большое, что были здесь, да, прослушали нашу сегодняшнюю лекцию. У нас есть время принять пару вопросов буквально. Пожалуйста, вы можете как написать вопрос в чате, так и озвучить его сейчас голосом, как вам будет удобно. Пожалуйста. И также хотелось бы сказать то, что если вопросы дополнительные появятся уже после окончания вебинара, мы всегда будем рады видеть их в нашем телеграм-канале Дарья Скаффолд и постараемся оперативно на них ответить. Но у вас сейчас вот есть как раз возможность задать вопросы непосредственно нашему эксперту.
Здравствуйте, уважаемые коллеги.
Да,
А,
здравствуйте, Батыр, слушаем вас.
Еще раз здравствуйте всем. Огромное спасибо за сегодняшний вебинар. Это организаторам и Оксане. Очень актуальные вопросы поднимали сегодня. Очень мне понравилось. Давно такого я не видел, не слышал. Такая подготовка к занятию, это к вебинару, это вообще отдельно похвала всему этому. Я вот думаю, у меня вопросов нету. У меня вопросы больше всего сейчас возникли самому себе. А все ли я правильно делал, когда мотивировал и когда хвалил своих учащихся или когда указывал им на ошибки? Будем над этим работать. Вы дали сегодня мне какое-то направление. Я себе все записал насчет учебной ямы, зона комфорта. Ну, это я вообще-то это применял как это аквариум, но зона комфорта мне очень тоже понравилась. И привычки мышления проработаю. Я с этим не сталкивался, но вот эти все 16 привычек хочу просмотреть и изучить. И потом мне понравились действительно мифы, которые вы сегодня нам предоставили. Действительно, я скажу честно, я на них не обращал внимания, но придется теперь работать над этим. Большое спасибо вам.
Да, спасибо большое, Батыракя. На самом деле, да, сегодня наш эксперт, да, очень много, на самом деле, ресурсов также оставила на слайдах, то есть у вас будет возможность ознакомиться с всей информацией и также поделиться своими впечатлениями с коллегами. И надеемся, то, что уже на командном уровне будет возможно также привнести изменения в вашем учебном заведении. Коллеги, пожалуйста, дополнительные комментарии, вопросы.
Виктория, можно такой не по теме вопрос задать?
Да, пожалуйста.
Оксана, я в свое время, одно время работал во Львове. Очень город такой мне красивый, понравился. Я работал на Львов химсельхозмаше. Да, на заводе и там тоже составлял проекты. Да, вот сейчас, когда вы сказали, что вы со Львова, это 90-е годы были. Я вот там работал. Очень красивый город, старинный город, и до сих пор он в моей памяти. Большое спасибо.
Thank you very much. I know it's a really small world. It's it's very pleasant to know that you have been in my city. You are really welcome to come again.
Да, уважаемые участники, у нас есть вопрос в чате. С помощью каких карточек Scaffold помогут развивать профессиональный рост преподавателей?
Oh, it's a tough question. I think the whole idea of using a supportive tool when you are designing a learning experience is what helps in professional growth. Because quite often we know the idea, it's just like with a growth mindset, but we lack the strategies and tools how to make this idea into reality. And Scaffold is a tool to actually help yourself develop those structures that actually work. And as you mentioned, sometimes we intuitively do some things. We think that it's working, but when we start analyzing it, when we start gathering evidence, when we start gathering data, when we start putting it into structure, that's when we find that maybe this was not the best solution. Maybe we can explore some other things. And I really like that Scaffold supports us in this search. When we question what we have been doing for some time, and we try to find some new ways of solving these issues that come along. So that would be, I think, the whole set of scaffold cards is about professional growth. That would be my guess.
Уважаемые участники, спасибо большое за ваши вопросы, комментарии. К сожалению, у нас нет большого времени, да, для того, чтобы посвятить его ответам на ваши вопросы. Повторюсь, мы будем всегда рады увидеть ваши вопросы в чате у нас в Телеграм-канале и постараемся ответить на них своевременно. На данном моменте хотелось бы завершить сегодняшний вебинар и буквально напомнить, да, что у нас в рамках серии международных вебинаров «Дарья Скаффолд» осталась последняя сессия, которая будет посвящена инклюзивному обучению для всех учащихся. Анонс данного вебинара у нас будет опубликован в нашем Телеграм-канале, а также на нашем мини-сайте «Дарья Скаффолд». Поэтому, пожалуйста, оставайтесь в курсе событий и не пропустите данный вебинар. И буквально момент относительно сегодняшней сессии, да, у нас сессия была записана, все материалы, также раздаточный материал, который мы направили в самом начале вебинара в чат, будут доступны для скачивания после публикации нашей записи. Также в телеграм-группе в Телеграме и на нашем мини-сайте. Спасибо большое всем за то, что вы уделили свое время сегодняшней сессии. Надеемся, что информация была максимально для вас полезной. Желаем вам доброго вечера и увидимся с вами в рамках следующих вебинаров.